Welcome to the C3 Sports Podcast. I'm Cody. That's Bob and Colin. And that's Kale. Boys, how we feeling?
Great, dog. How about you after coming back from out west, out in the sun?
Oh, great. Burnt. Excited. Kids had fun, so we're doing great.
Andy built a sandcastle.
Built an awesome sandcastle. No girls allowed, by the way.
This is a nice Snapchat.
That is Setson's number one rule is no girls. Yeah, because his sister likes to destroy everything.
I don't feel like that's going to be a rule that lasts too
Yeah. Oh man, so we got a pretty full show tonight because we actually, talked it out before. So hopefully it should go a little bit better. Talk some MLB trade talk, talk some college football, some coaching, and a new segment to be looking forward to, boys. What does Chat GPT say?
It's clever.
That's because Chat GPT is awesome.
Chat GPT, TPT, who knows?
Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start off. Obviously, big news. Skubal goes to the Dodgers. And at first, I was kind of mad about the whole situation. But then I read Devil's Advocate tweet tonight about all these guys they've got and the teams that traded them. They don't have to trade him to the Dodgers. Just everyone's cheap, and Dodgers are the ones that are willing to pony up.
Okay, so I have some thoughts on this. I have two thoughts. Actually, three. So, number one, the thing that pisses me off the most about this is, do you know why the Dodgers have all this money?
Yeah, because they found a loophole in the television contract.
Yeah, no, well, they didn't find the loophole. The MLB created a loophole for them.
Yeah, when they were first. Yep.
The MLB, instead of taxing their payroll, is taxing their TV money because they filed for bankruptcy 10 years ago or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
And so now they're doing all these deferred contracts and whatnot, and it's creating them $66 million more per year than anybody else.
Yeah, it's insane.
And so that's why the Dodgers have all this more money than everybody else, is because they filed for bankruptcy. And then, so that irritates me. So that's thing number one, is basically the MLB created this. Number two, I read something interesting that the Tigers actually had better offers on the table as far as prospects return, because let's be honest, this was a 1-for-1 deal. The Dodgers got back three prospects. One of those prospects is a 30-year-old guy coming off John surgery that miraculously, going from the Dodgers to the Tigers, has now fell out of the top 100 prospects.
Right.
How does that work?
Right. Now, this was straight up Zaire Hope for Tariq.
Right,
Skubal.
for Tariq Skubal. But you're essentially, the Dodgers are going to try to extend him, I'm sure, or sign him in the offseason.
Yeah.
So you're actually trading for a rental. So your return isn't going to be as high as if he was controllable.
Right.
Right. But a couple of people said that they talked to rival execs that talked the Tigers basically essentially of biting one for the MLB, or biting the bullet for everybody else, trading Skubal to the Dodgers to essentially create a lockout in 2027.
Correct.
Until the other teams get their way of salary cap and the salary floor and all
Right
this
there.
stuff.
You just hit on the key point.
A salary floor,
The salary floor.
right? And that needs to happen,
Yes.
you know. And like, and here's the other thing. Kale kind of mentioned it earlier today in our group text that the Yankees have now been replaced by the Dodgers as his number one hated team, because
Yeah.
the Dodgers are essentially doing what the Yankees did in the 90s, but
Yeah.
the Dodgers are having more success with it. Like
Yep.
the Dodgers are buying their World Series appearances and World Series trophies, just like the Yankees were trying to do. But like this isn't a new thing
Right.
of teams trying to buy postseason wins.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, I don't like it. I'm mad, you know, that 28 other ball clubs had the opportunity to get him and didn't step up. But it sounds like maybe there was some collusion behind the scenes by some MLB owners to basically create a lockout or force the hand of the players union.
Essentially being like forfeit this year to make it so that MLB is better moving forward.
Correct.
Right.
Which is, I think, way better. So
Moving on.
Yeah. So then, probably an hour before we started the show tonight, we got the news of Kevin Gausman going to the Cubs.
Yep.
Heyo.
That's Kale's new team. And then we had Kale's favorite pitcher get traded for the second time in the past calendar year.
You know what's interesting about that trade?
Freddie Peralta, by the way, for the...
Yeah. So the Mets traded, or the Brewers traded Freddie Peralta to the Mets. The Mets gave up their number 3 and number 5 prospects to get Peralta.
Right.
They suck. So then they're like, we're going fire sale.
Yep.
They're trying to sell off everybody. And they turn around and deal him to the Rays for like the Rays 15th, 18th, and 20 something overall prospects.
Yeah.
So they basically just ditched 2 guys to flip a guy for they ditched 2 of their top 5 prospects to flip a guy, and like it was about a bad flip job.
Right. Correct. Kale's former team, the Twins, made some noise going and getting AJ Minter from also the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I was telling Colin this the other night or last night, I think. I was just like, you know, as much as I love seeing the Twins be buyers at the deadline, it's just like after last season, it's kind of like, you know, because it's kind of like, I mean, I know they've been playing better than what they did with all the dudes last year, but the people they sold off last year was largely their bullpen.
Right.
You know, like, so, I mean, obviously, it's
Johan and Griffin Jacks.
Like AJ Minter doesn't freaking move the needle for postseason play. Like,
have you seen the problem with really pitching this year?
Hold on. Have you seen postseason AJ Minter?
It doesn't matter. The Twins are never going to score enough. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, you have to be winning the game for AJ Minter to matter.
Yeah, well,
clearly they've been winning because they're in a wild card spot.
Yeah, in the Central. Everybody's in a wild card spot in the Central.
When AJ Minter comes in the game, just hope that everybody's left-handed, because he can't get right-handers out right now.
This is just not a year that I don't care what the Twins do right now.
Well, you're a Cubs fan now.
That's right.
And you got Kevin Gausman.
And they're talking that the Cubs aren't done.
Yes. That leads us actually into our next topic, boys.
Are you just going to skip the fact that the White Sox got Luis Castillo today?
Yeah, there is that, and Luis Garcia to the Yankees, and the Bravos doing some work.
Yeah. So you know what the Bravos did yesterday?
Yeah.
They went out. Tariq Skubal went to the Dodgers. So the Braves went and got Tariq Skubal's father, Lane
Lane
Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah.
Because Lane Thomas rakes Tariq Skubal. Rakes him.
Yeah.
And you know what? Half the Dodgers starting rotation is left-handed, so go get a
Yeah.
right-handed bat to hit off of him.
Yeah. Thank you for taking Bailey Falter too, because he fucking sucks.
Well, he's just insurance.
Yeah, exactly. And then today, Dodgers go out and get Tyler, or not Dodgers, Braves go out and get Tyler Molly.
Who apparently sucks, by the way. Did not know that. He's 3-9 with like a 5.99 ERA this year. But he did just strike out 9 Padres yesterday. So,
But he also has no offense to help him.
well, that too.
Because he
But
had a
when you're
good year
giving-
last year with the Rangers.
When you're giving up 6 runs a game,
Yeah, that's
doesn't
still.
help. But I would assume that Molly they're going to bridge him. They're
Yeah.
they're going to pair him and Grant Holmes together and try and go like 4-3 and then turn things over back into the bullpen.
Yeah.
Is my assumption. Because Grant Holmes can't go more than 4 innings anyways.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting. You want to hit a little bit on Castillo, go on to White Sox, also contender out of the first place in the Central.
Yeah, I mean, the White Sox got to get some help for the. I mean, the
Yeah.
White Sox are kind of in the same spot that the Twins are, where they're winning and nobody kind of expected it. So now you kind of got to make some moves to
Yeah.
continue winning, right? And the Central's still kind of wide open. The Mariners had a surplus of pitching, and I think 2 guys that weren't really happy with what was going on with their surplus of starting pitching. One of them was Luis Castillo because he was kind of in a bridge role
Yeah.
where they were letting him go one time through the order and then they were bringing in Bryce Miller or vice versa.
Yeah.
So I think they moved a guy to basically get themselves out of that situation, and the White Sox benefited from it.
So, Dan, they got Rock Chalowski.
Yeah, in 5 years.
Yeah, if that.
Colin loves his batting.
All right, now we move on to what do you think is going to happen in the next 10 hours, 12, like 16 hours? Trying to do quick math.
Yeah, it's like 18 hours.
Yeah,
There's going to be a lot that happens.
I think the
tomorrow
Dodgers make.
tomorrow in the afternoon is going to be wild.
Yeah, I will have MLB Network on my phone all day tomorrow.
Had to make that caveat on my phone tomorrow because
Yeah,
it's a work
got
day.
me working.
I think there's obviously going to be still some teams that are going to be buying.
Yeah,
Somebody in the AL West has got to turn into a buyer here.
yeah,
Who that team is going to be, I don't know if anybody wants to be the buyer in the AL West.
right.
It might be the Astros. It sounds like the Rangers are going to sell, which I mean the Rangers got some pieces to sell.
Yeah,
You gotta take. I mean, the Rangers are going to have to try to take on some salary to dump some of that salary because they got Evaldi, Jacob DeGrom, Corey Seager, all guys that potentially could move if the Rangers. An article I read today kind of outlined the fact that they thought if the Rangers decision was going to be made off of today, whether they won or lost. Well, they lost. The Astros, who are a team that was in the discussion whether they're going to be buyers or sellers, were winners. So My assumption is the Astros are going to be buyers. I still think maybe you could see the Mariners sell one more starting pitcher. I think it sounds like George Kirby could get moved tomorrow. Obviously, we all know the Angels are going to be sellers because they're always sellers, and
Yeah.
but they never sell. They never sell the right person.
Right.
The one guy that they should sell, they haven't sold, and it's the only reason people I think still come to Angels games.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just a disservice to Trout.
Right. Like, and I'll get into that here coming up.
Because there's been a lot of talk of Neto to the Rays.
Yeah, there's some talk there.
Can I make one bold prediction?
Yep.
Adley Rutschman goes to the Dodgers.
I don't think so. I think he's going in division.
I know the Yankees are throwing whatever, like they're throwing massive trades to him, but I don't think that Baltimore will trade in division.
Well, you wouldn't like. I mean, if you get a team to overpay for him, like
yeah, it's
whatever.
worth it then. But with Will Smith still out for another month,
yeah,
Dalton Rushing ain't doing it.
What's that?
Dalton Rushing ain't doing it, or what?
That he's Dalton Rushing something.
I think the Brewers are still buying.
Yeah.
I think the Cubs will get another starting pitcher yet. I think the Cubs probably end up with Reed Detmers. I think the Brewers are going to end up with Jose Soriano. And then I think the Braves have to buy one more. They've got to find somebody to get as a front end starter to go with Chris Sale, because currently right now they do not have a game 2 arm. They've got to get somebody. There's a couple names that have been floated around out there that I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I've done some of the stuff I've read is Michael Wacha to the Cubs. Royals say they're not trading Wacha, but I see that one working out.
Yeah, I mean it'll be. I do think there's going to be some surprise players moved tomorrow.
Okay, so sorry, keep going.
So like we already talked about the Rays need a shortstop, the Red Sox need a shortstop. I think Zach Neto is dealt tomorrow.
Yes.
I think Neto is going to end up in Boston. You said
I said Tampa. Yep.
Yeah, you said Tampa. I think he's going to Boston. Boston is going to try to find a shortstop tomorrow. The Yankees are going to try to find a catcher tomorrow, whether that's Tyler Stevenson, whether that's Adley Rutschman, who it is, Hunter Goodman.
Probably the biggest catcher trade piece went on the IL for the rest of the year.
Which is who?
Fuck me. Just forgot his name. From the Athletics.
Oh, Bangaliers.
Yeah, Bangaliers. Why am I drawing a blank on that? That's my boy.
I actually think the biggest trade chip is still I think the best catcher available, not named Adley Rutschman, is still out there. And that's Hunter Goodman.
Yes.
From the Rockies.
100%. Now, do you see Tovar getting dealt?
No. I don't.
My question to you guys, and Kale, I'll be interested on your opinion on this, because you had some takes about this the other night. Do you see a lot of teams panic trade with the looming winter, no baseball next year? Or do you see a lot of guys hold because of that?
I had an opinion on that.
Oh, with the lockout?
I don't remember what I said about that.
You were just talking about how with the Skubal stuff that you're like, no wonder there's going to be lockouts and
right.
Oh, well, I mean, I just figure after what we already talked about, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Like,
That's
well,
why I
I
posed the
mean,
question. Do you think we'll see more trades because of the lockout, or do you think more teams will kind of nut up and not do anything because of the lockout?
I have no freaking clue, dude. I
I
don't have
I
an
don't
opinion.
I don't think as a Major League Baseball GM right now, I don't think you can like I don't think that you can trade guys or hold guys because you think there's going to be a lockout.
Yeah,
Because
you just gotta.
you never know when the players union is going to be like, okay, yep, here,
Yeah,
give us the dotted line, let's go. Like you can't assume that the 2027 season is going to be wiped out.
right.
It makes sense.
I think we might miss a month. In my opinion, I think we might miss a month, maybe two. I think there'll
It's
be a season.
it's going to be very similar to um what year was that we started in May?
Oh,
It was the last CBA.
yeah. I want to say which would have been 16, 15. They're 10 years, aren't they? The CBAs.
Yeah, I think 16. So they miss like a month. I would
Yeah,
assume it's going to be something similar to that.
yeah,
I mean, people had the same reaction the last time that they did the CBA. They're like,
yeah.
there's going to be a work stoppage. Like they're not going to get this figured out, and they did.
Yeah. All right. So back to we've talked catchers. We've talked. Who do you
Yep.
think will be some big time sellers? We've kind of talked about
I
some of the players, but
I think the Rangers are going to sell.
do you see
I think
Seager going anywhere?
yep. I think Seager goes. I could see DeGrom going, but DeGrom can block any trade
Yes.
he wants to basically. Um, Seager, here's the big thing with Seager. If they can get somebody like the Red Sox, the Rays probably aren't going to take on Seager because
No,
the
they won't.
salary too much. But if they can get somebody like the Red Sox or the Braves to take Seager's contract, he's still got time left on his contract. And next year, he becomes a 10-year service player, 5 years with the same team. He becomes eligible for a no or a full trade clause where he can block any trade. So I
Yeah.
think it's actually indicative that they do move him.
Yeah. It's just going to be what can they get for him?
Right. But again, it's going to be you're going to probably take on a bad salary
Yeah.
plus a couple of prospects. Like you're not going to get the return that you would think you are for him just because his salary is so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many teams that are technically buying, like they can't, like, I'm thinking of the Twins. Like the Twins can't even move anybody to the Rangers to acquire DeGrom at all
Right.
without giving up pieces they already need.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so you can't. There's people that are buying that can't even. I mean, he has to go to a higher level team. Like he has to, because
Right.
Right.
the
Like
White Sox can't afford it. Would they? Nor should they. I mean, they could, but I mean, it's just
White
like,
Sox, they have a really good farm system.
yeah, but still, I
Really
mean, like,
good's kind of dramatic. They have a
but
good farm system.
but you're talking about trade money, right? You're talking
Yeah.
like the Rangers, if they're going to sell Seager off, they're not going to eat a bunch of that contract.
Right. Right.
So the White Sox don't have anybody with that large of a contract. Like I can give you an example. The Braves have Ha-Sung Young Kim,
Yeah.
who they kind of need to move, that has a $20 million contract the rest of this year.
Yeah.
At that point, like I would assume if the Braves were to trade for Corey Seager or Jacob DeGrom or somebody like that, Ha-Sung Kim is going to be part of that deal
Yes. To
because the
get
money
rid of that
makes
contract.
sense. The money makes sense. We'll take
Right.
on Seager's contract. You take on Ha-Sung Kim's contract.
Right.
Like that's the exchange that it's going to be.
Right. Right. Now, you talk about the Rangers, the Angels. They go Soriano probably, Neto probably, Joe Adell.
Joe Adele, Neto, Soriano, Ditmers. I think
Yeah.
probably
So they
all. I
already
mean,
dealt O'Hoppe.
which I didn't realize O'Hoppe's as bad as he is.
Yeah.
The dude,
I loved him a couple years ago, and then
I thought that dude was way better than he is.
yeah.
I didn't know that he can't hit, and he's like the worst defensive catcher in baseball.
Yeah. Well, apparently Seattle's looking for a catcher.
Well, yeah, because your boy that strikes out 175 times a year is struck out.
Minimum.
Yeah, struck out 200 times already, and he missed 2 months on the IL.
Yeah.
The quick math, he's not hitting the baseball.
Yeah.
So okay,
Gosh,
we got to
baseball classic.
Yeah. Well, and that's what somebody was like. I can't believe the Tigers just gave up on Skubal like that, and they're like, I'd trade somebody who gave up on their country too. I thought it was funny.
Jeez.
All right, we got to keep moving here, otherwise we're not going to get through this thing. Who one player that you think that nobody is talking about right now that gets traded tomorrow?
That is fascinating. That no one is talking about.
Yep, I got one.
I don't know who's been talked about, so I can't.
Well, I mean, like who haven't we talked on this show about?
Is it one that I texted you earlier?
No, the one that I have. No.
Okay. Because I'm going to follow those lines, and I'm going to say Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay, where's he go?
I know they've already rejected one trade, but I'm going to stick with Boston.
I'm putting this in the document so we can come back on this.
Ellie De La Cruz to the Red Sox.
From the Reds to the Red Sox.
Okay, it's on the whiteboard. Kale?
I don't know, probably a handful of Reds. But Cruz hasn't even been paid yet. They're De La Cruz. Like, he doesn't even have a big contract yet, does he?
No.
And I already used him, so.
Yeah, no, I was just asking about him. Just keeping the dialogue going on it. Like, what would because the financial piece to it is not. I mean, you're going to get more back because of what he is. Yeah. But it's not like you're not taking on anything financially.
No.
I don't know. I have no freaking clue, dude. I mean, maybe. I mean, I hate to say it, but like, it'd be crazy if someone like Vladdy Jr. freaking got moved.
Ellie De La Cruz is controllable through 29.
Yeah, because he's still on his rookie deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's going to get a good return. But you think, yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to, but man, Toronto sure has had a letdown after what happened last year when they were so close to winning the whole thing. Like, and he's been
selling off Gausman, showing that they're willing to sell off some guys.
Well, and Vladdy's like super average this year, actually below average. He's only hitting like 260 and has had 6 home runs, or 7 home runs, or whatever it is.
But he's got an insane contract.
Yeah, so
there's money involved there.
Yep. That would be your big surprise one, Vladdy Jr.
No, I'm not saying I'm not gonna say that I think there would be one. I'm just saying it would be crazy. Like,
okay.
Are we talking huge ass surprise, or are we just talking like just a surprise because it's a surprise, not like
crazy. Just a surprise because it's a surprise. It doesn't have to be like crazy. Like
we're
not talking like Paul Skeens gets moved.
I did read an article about
funny because
getting moved. That ain't happening.
I mean, because the person that I always would have thought of in terms of is you. I mean, has Ketel Marte moved yet?
No, but I could see
But
it happening.
yeah,
After what you said the other day, how he unfollowed all the Arizona Diamondback stuff, like that's
Yeah.
to me that'd be the one.
Is that your pick?
I don't want it to be but they're obviously they're not gonna catch LA. So like, what's the point? Even though they're 6 games above 500,
Right. So where do you?
I'll go with Ketel Marte. Maybe he'll go to maybe he goes to the Twins. Maybe that's why the Twins have only gotten AJ Minter, and now they're just waiting to put one on everyone.
Yeah, and they
because
moved
they don't
Keyshaw
really
outfield, so
they don't really have much. Well, but Marte can play shortstop, or Keyshaw could.
Well, Keyshaw was playing center field yesterday.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the Twins don't really have anybody great at shortstop because who they start this year, they're Brooks Lee, and he's not.
Right, so Ketel Marte to the Twins. Would you be a Twins fan again?
Might be the only way it could be.
All right, I'm gonna get windy here because I got a lot of things that I
was that crazy enough for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not crazy, Ketel Marte. Twins crazy.
Well, yeah.
So I think there's some guys that are on the radar that could be possibilities to get moved. Like, I think Hunter Green is in play for Cincinnati. I think Logan Webb is in play for the Giants. I think the Brewers and the Braves could both be in the market after him. Also, or after those guys, I think Casey Mize is a guy that could be moved tomorrow. The Phillies are also another team that's going to be in the market for a starter. So I mean, if any, like, Casey Mize is going to get moved. If Logan Webb or Hunter Green are moved tomorrow, I would not be shocked at all.
Yeah.
That's a name I forgot about, is Hunter Green, because he was hurt.
Right. Here is one guy, though, that I think we already mentioned him previously tonight. And I thought Cody was going to ruin it for me. This is my surprise move tomorrow. And because I'm going to say it right now, it's not going to happen. And I'm going to be very excited that it's not going to happen. Mike Trout to the Phillies.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is my bold. I think the Phillies are going to go try to get Mike Trout tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, that's where he wants to be.
Are you sure? Are we sure, though? Like, everybody's always assumed that.
Yeah.
But, like, are we sure? Like, has anybody ever heard him say, I want to be in Philly? Because if Mike Trout wanted to be in Philly,
he'd be in Philly.
Mike Trout would be in. He did sign a ginormous contract.
Yeah.
With the Angels, like 5 years ago, and he had an opportunity to go to the Phillies right then and there. And he didn't go. Like, if Mike Trout wanted to,
but now he's 5 years older. He's lost a little velocity on the swing. Now he can hit the ball out again in Philly.
Yeah, but like, my thing is if Mike Trout wanted to be a Philly, he had the opportunity to be a Philly and didn't take it.
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. He's older now. He's got a little less pop on the bat. Like, it might be worth it to freaking, get up to Philly and have that swing, have a little bit of pop left with it being a hitter's ballpark.
Question for you that I think you'll laugh at, but Philly needs a third baseman because Bohm, they've been trying to get out of Bohm for a while.
He sucks.
Could you see a Eugenio Suarez to Philly with the Reds being sellers?
No.
No, the Phillies don't play players.
Right. Eugenio Suarez isn't like this is gonna sound crazy. He's not good enough.
I get that. No, 100%.
Like
So it would be like a
I
lateral move from Bum.
right. Like yeah, I don't think that Eugenio Suarez is that much better than Alec Bohm.
Yeah.
It's the potential. The ceiling for Eugenio Suarez in high pressure cooker situations is better than Bohm.
Yeah, but the only part about that is there's a better chance that he runs into a foul ball and hits it out.
Yeah.
Like consistently, Alec Bohm and Eugenio Suarez are the same player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it's just that Suarez runs into a few more baseballs. And
right, but that's the whole point, because it's it changes the execution of a game. Like,
but here's my point though, and why I say that. The Phillies can't afford to have Eugenio Suarez in their lineup because you've already got two of those guys in your lineup.
Right.
With Schwarber and Harper.
Yeah.
Like you can only have so many 220 hitters that hit 40 bombs.
Not necessarily, because you're going to average maybe six runs a game if you have all 9 of them like that.
Yeah, you're not. That's not going to happen.
Who is a third baseman that could go to Philly?
The Yankees would like to know.
Yeah.
The Yankees would like to know who the third basemen available are, because right now they all suck.
Yeah.
Like Royce Lewis.
Like Royce Lewis ain't a third baseman. He's a first baseman.
Royce Lewis is a third baseman.
He's first base.
Royce Lewis is playing first base for the Twins right now.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched any baseball since May, so
I told you that yesterday. I said the things I learned today. Royce Lewis plays first base. First base.
I missed that.
Plays center field.
I missed that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like Garcia ain't getting traded. He just got activated, but he's not getting traded.
Max Muncy ain't getting traded. Matt Chapman.
Hey,
that's an option.
They could move. Maybe they'll move Brooks Lee because he can play third, and that's why Ketel Marte will end up at freaking at Minnesota.
Yeah, I like that actually.
Like here's the other one. I mean, again, you're trading for a 220 hitter that, I mean, you're essentially trading for Cal Raleigh, a 220 hitter that hits 40 bombs. Isaac Paredes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Isak,
whatever his name is. All right, we're almost 40 minutes in. We spent way too much time on baseball hypothetical trades.
All right. Big Ten media days were last week, and we got some quotes there. Pull them up real quick, but old Signetti, he delivered again.
Well, Brett Bielema delivered first.
Yeah, I mean, and he opened up on Tuesday. He was the first one to go.
Like, he took a shot, loaded the 12 gauge, and fired her 3 minutes into the deal.
Yep. I'm pulling it up exactly right now. So we had Brett Bielema come out in his opening statement, not even getting questioned about it. In his opening statement, Bielema goes, "I know the SEC wants to live in 2005 forever, so it's nice to be in a conference with forward thinking."
That's gold.
But it's true. Yeah. It's true. And we'll get into that later in the show.
Yep. And he did explain himself. And then Signetti later gets asked, I can't remember what the question was that he was asked, but he goes into detail saying, "We don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. When we fall short, we say we fell short. We don't cry river, whine, or complain. That's why we're the best."
Right.
Taking a shot because of the SEC's all whining about why they're not winning and schedules and everything.
Well, guess what? Like, them not winning previous to this year had nothing to do with their freaking schedules, because they played 8 conference games and a cupcake in the middle of the conference play.
Right.
So, like, that had nothing to do with it.
Right. I loved it. I love Signet. I wish there was more. Bielema, thank you. Signetti, thank you. We please get more.
Because it's relevant, and even though it wasn't said at Big Ten Media Days, but it's on the same topic of what these guys are talking about, just because it's the SEC's own freaking flagship dude. Did you see what Paul Feinbaum? Either of you?
I did. I can't remember off the top of my head. I did see there was a bunch of drama.
He said the SEC needs to nut up or just shut up, because stop complaining about respect and go win games.
Okay,
Right.
that one I didn't see.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw a different quote from him about the Big Ten.
Yep. No, he said this. He basically said the same thing.
Right. He's like, the SEC needs to quit talking and just do, because what they're doing right now is not helping them.
Yeah,
Right.
so he said the full quote was on ESPN First Take. So like they were talking about Signetti's comment about what he said, and it literally said, quote, "He's 100% correct. I have waved this flag for the SEC a long time. You have to put that flag down at some point. And for my friends in the SEC, just shut up already. Get to September, play football, and let's see if you can change the narrative."
Good for Paul.
Yeah, that made me not hate that little P wrinkle anymore.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, better than, who was it, Molly McGrath out there making excuses?
No, that was Laura Rutledge.
Laura Rutledge, yeah.
No, don't you dare throw Molly McGrath under the bus.
Well, she's NFL now, man.
Doesn't matter. She wouldn't say anything like that.
Allegedly, too, boys, there's a new college football show on Fridays. Live from college campuses. Allegedly.
Is it the C3 Sports Live podcast?
I wish.
Oh.
Allegedly. Are you talking about Peyton, Luan, and Compton?
Yeah, allegedly they're going to be on.
That's not allegedly. That's public knowledge.
I know. That's
a real thing. There's no allegedly about that.
Did you listen to Bussin' on Monday from last Monday?
Uh-huh.
That's their whole like joke they were running, because Pate was on Bussin', and he goes, allegedly we're going to have a new show on Friday.
Right.
So I was running with their announcement. Allegedly they'll be doing campus shows on Fridays this year. So
I didn't know it was going to be on campus, but I did know that they were starting a football show.
Yeah. It'll be on Fridays.
It's kind of interesting how the SEC went from woke to firing all the woke people, and they're hiring guys like Compton and Luan and Pate, and paying Pat McAfee millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, they took a full turn. They're like, but I think over the last 5 years they've realized like their woke media presence was killing their viewership.
What my wife and I just talked about this last night, and I don't even think it's that they're getting rid of say a woke media for conservative media. I think they're going to guys like Pate Compton, paying more to McAfee, because they just straight up don't talk about politics. They're here to talk football. They're here to talk sports. They're not going to get in and blame everything on sexism, racism, all the transgender stuff going on right now. They're just going to come in and talk college football.
But that's what I'm talking about, is the woke movement killed them.
Right.
Like all those people, like
Ryan Clark.
Example A, Ryan Clark, boot him out the door.
Yep.
We're going to give your money to Pat McAfee, which kind of like one of the guys that did get laid off in the whole thing is Carl Ravitch, which kind of sucks because I thought Carl Ravitch did a job with Major League Baseball, but they don't need to be paying him the salary that they're paying him to do midweek baseball games that don't get viewership, and the Little League World Series. Like, part of the reason why he got laid off is because he was getting paid so much. They're like, we can't afford you to pay you what we're paying you to do what you're doing.
Right.
Like that there was more of a money business decision than we went woke, so now we're going broke.
Right. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how many times it has to happen for people to realize that.
Yep.
It's
Okay,
insane.
we got off topic there a minute.
Moving on.
So on Thursday, Matt Rule came in, and I don't understand why this got so much attention, but he came in saying that college football is in a better place now than it ever has been. And I fully agree with him.
I here's the reason why it got attention is because there's so many people saying that college football is like the system is
Broken.
broken.
Yeah.
And like what he's saying, it like the system is broken and it needs fixed. But what he's also saying is like college football right now, like there's parity in college
Yeah.
football. There's like the same team isn't winning it every year.
Right.
Like more teams can compete. The viewership numbers are up. The players are better. The coaching is better. Like
The teams are better, so we're getting
right,
better games.
Right. The teams are like college football as a product is
better.
good right now.
Right.
Is better right now. Is the best that it's ever been.
So, and I'm stealing this from Travis Justice of all people.
Yeah, but let me kind of say this real quick. The reason why people think the system's broken is because they cannot cope with the idea that their team might be 7-5, and yet they still could be a good team.
Right.
And they're in a proud program, because it goes back to the same thing that people are dumb and don't understand that even if Nebraska was to go 7-5 this year, they could be twice the team they were a year ago and still be 7-5. Because people think that 7-5 is still what it was in the 90s when you played Pacific, still 4 non-conference games and you only played 11 games instead of 12. Like under the old structure.
Yeah.
Well, and people
so
still
they cannot, even though that math didn't math. I'm 7-4, 6-5, whatever. But it's like, I just think that there's a lot of older people that cannot come to terms with what college football is anymore because they think of it from a record standpoint and they don't see beyond like just a surface level freaking viewpoint.
Well, like here's the other point is like to kind of go with that, Kale, is like people don't realize like Vanderbilt and Kansas and Missouri and Maryland and all these teams were freaking doormats, right? Like when
Indiana,
when you looked at a schedule, you're like, oh, we play Vanderbilt, W. Like Vanderbilt's freaking beating Alabama this day and age. Like, good for college football. Like, Kansas is beating Texas. Kansas is beating, like the teams that were the doormats in the 90s and early 2000s are not doormats.
Right. Colin Cowherd used to talk about this often, about like how we need better games. Like we can't be having these games where it's like, think about when I always use the Nebraska reference because largely we're going to have people that know what Nebraska is. And so when Nebraska played Baylor back in the day, you had to watch the game on Versus or buy a freaking pay-per-view freaking deal from the grocery store downtown Ord, and just to be able to watch it because Baylor was so freaking bad it wasn't going to get any viewership on any network.
Right.
So that's basically a bye week. It's no different than a bye week. And that's like now at college football, you're playing a competitive game every single week, and people don't understand how hard it is to win freaking football games
on the road. So real quick,
on the road or at home, it doesn't matter. You don't have the same advantages at home as you used to because there's so much more competition. Like you had crazy home field advantage back in the day, largely because of who the programs were, not because of how much like Bama's home field advantage isn't the same as it was back in 2012.
Correct.
It's hard to win football games, period.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying about what Travis Justice was saying on his podcast. A lot of the parity is because prior to NIL and transfer portal, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, they could go stack 45 5-stars on a 5 deep at quarterback, receiver, O line, whatever. But now, like, these guys see they're not going to play, so they transfer to where they can play, and you're getting more parity that way because you're not just stacking rosters.
Well, you're not stacking rosters because you're not paying under the table either anymore. Everybody's paying. So it's not so much about playing time as now that you're like, because there's a lot. That's the whole argument with Bama. Bama's deep rosters was because they were still getting paid to sit at the bench and then eventually would play and get drafted. But now, would I want to sit the bench and get paid, or would I rather go play and get paid? Because the first priority for these kids is always going to be the money. I mean, they're young dudes with young minds. Like, they're going to take the money and then they're going to go play. So because other places are paying, they can go play at other places now. But it's not, I don't think those two things can be flipped around. Like, you have to be paid first before you're going to go to some dipshit freaking university from the 90s, that we'd never heard of.
So is Nebraska paying in the 90s when they were stacking?
No, they were taking steroids when no one else was. So they refer their version of being able to pay players was the weight training and the steroids.
Yeah.
And the training table.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
that was like in the 90s, part of the reason why Nebraska was so good is because they had the advantage of the weight program and the training table that other universities did not have.
Right.
Correct. And their players in the 90s, Husker players in the 90s, still, they look like, there's not a lot of players today that look like what they looked like.
Right.
Physically. Like, you go back and look at some of those things that we've put in our text chains and stuff with those guys and how ripped and huge they are. And it's like, there's not a lot of those dudes being put out in college today. Because,
do you guys remember Kyle Vanden Bosch when he was at Nebraska?
Yeah, dude was out of his mind.
Yeah,
like Vanden Bosch, Wistrom, Chad, Chris Kelsey, Jason Peters, like those dudes were nuts. Christian Peters.
So right. Move on.
How about some of the other comments that Rule made at media days too? Like these weren't like national, like caught the eye of people.
Yeah,
but like this one really hit home with me. I thought Dana did a really admirable job last year of adjusting his play calling to what we did well, and trying to find a way to win games without a lot of ego. He's got an itch to be able to call a game the way he wants to play.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't on with us the other night, but I was talking to Kale. Like I felt like that was a direct shot at Dylan Raiola, and maybe Dominic Raiola. Like that they were handcuffed at the way they had to play because Dylan wouldn't adjust, and they thought that this was the way that it needed to go.
What if? Oh gosh, I'll have to save this for another time. Can't deviate too much, but I was gonna say, like, what if Raiola only stayed a second year when Holgorsen came in, and because Dana agreed to use Satterfield's offense?
Could be.
Possibly.
Because why else would you freaking do that?
I just thought it was funny, the 3 questions that I heard Lanning get asked about Raiola. The only thing he kept mentioning was we had to change his body.
Well, and like I told Kale this the other day when we were talking, like when Rule was on the main stage, a reporter asked him about the quarterback room and like Raiola leaving, and he just completely ignored the part about Raiola. Didn't even acknowledge it. Just moved right on. Like Andre was the guy that we wanted right when he stepped out of the vehicle. Like we had 2 other guys on the way. One was already en route, so we went ahead and did the visit with him. The third one we canceled. We didn't even bring the third one on campus.
And he talked about Nebraska has 3 quarterbacks that all have started in Power 4 football.
And won.
Yeah.
Started and won Power Football 4 football games. How about David Braun saying that Northwestern is aligned and primed to win?
I like it, but I've also been on the Northwestern.
Cody got warm feels in the downstairs on that one.
Yeah, I was pumped about that.
Oh, gosh, I don't make myself laugh that often, but that one was good.
It's just kind of interesting. Like the part that I thought was interesting about that is I think it's always interesting when coaches talk about like the head football coach, the AD, and the president all being on the same page, and that's what it takes to win.
Right.
Like and sometimes like I hate to keep going back to Nebraska, but like over the last 20 years, I'm not sure that was always the case for Nebraska. And I think that's part of the reason why you've seen like Steve Peterson, Harvey Perlman, and Bo Pelini were not on the same page.
Right.
Like Harvey Perlman wanted nothing to do with Nebraska football being successful and winning. Like
right.
Your president of your university has to want your football program to be good to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the other headline out of Big Ten Media Days that scares the holy living shit out of me.
I already know where you're going with this.
Just Kyle Whittingham compared Bryce Underwood to Devin Dampier and said, we are going to take – he does a lot of things good that Dampier did good, and we're going to take what we did good with Devin Dampier, and we're going to – Bryce Underwood is going to do those same things. Is that like an oh fuck moment for you guys?
Yeah.
Like my first initial reaction when he said that was, fuck, Michigan's winning the national title.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to be
like I mean we talked about it when we did the quarterback tier rankings, but like I'm not a Bryce Underwood fan. Like I think like and Whittingham kind of said the same sentiment, like that he was a little bit immature and didn't understand, like didn't understand, didn't have great footwork, like threw the ball too hard at times, like wasn't mature enough to be a quarterback. And he's like, we've spent a lot of time refining that and doing what he does good and trying to help him out with his footwork. And I'm like, whew, if they can get Bryce Underwood, and like, don't get me wrong, like Devin Dampier wasn't like he was hurt every other week. And like, again, he didn't throw the best, like he kind of similar to Bryce Underwood.
right.
But if they get Bryce Underwood involved in the running game, like Devin Dampier was at Utah, look at it.
Because Dampier running was an electric factory.
Yes. Well, and Underwood is like twice the size of Dampier.
Right.
Dampier's like 6 foot 190. And Underwood's like 6'5", 250.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, boys, what do you say we move on to topic 5? I know we're skipping one there, but we're at an hour already.
We can go through this one fast. We can go through topic 4 fast.
We could save a bunch for Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Let's save 4 for Wednesday.
Okay.
Topic 5, and it's going to be a new segment we do. It is, what does Chat GPT say? So, Colin ran this exercise prior to the show tonight. And I wanted you guys, well, Colin, you read off what you typed in and what Chat GPT spit out.
So essentially, we had on our last show that we did last week, we talked about, we were comparing conferences, and essentially, right, I think we all kind of agreed that the ACC and the Big 12 are comparable, and the SEC and the Big 10 are comparable. And I mean, much to Cale thinks that the ACC is better than what they are, but
they are, dude. Just because you're not deep and competitive doesn't mean you're not good.
Just because you play with Virginia Tech on NCAA football doesn't mean the ACC is good.
When you never have a team, the ACC didn't have a team win more than 8 games last year?
Miami was in the national title game.
No, well, they don't count. They didn't play in the ACC championship game though.
They actually went toe to toe with Indiana when nobody else did.
Did
Old
Miami
Dominion
play?
did.
Did Miami play in the ACC title game?
Dumb tiebreak rules don't count either.
Well, anyways, the ACC is not good. When you have one team that is
I don't know.
significantly better than every,
Duke's pretty good, man. I think the ACC
no,
ACC is good.
the
They're good.
ACC is not as deep as the Big Ten and the SEC.
SEC.
It's not even remotely close.
No. I don't think you're understanding what we mean by deep. Like, I'm not saying deep. I'm saying that they're competitive. So, does the ACC have the top level groups like the Big Ten and the SEC? No, they have
No.
Miami, and really that's it. But I think that the B tier is way bigger than the SEC and the Big Ten's B tier.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
No.
100%.
No.
I'll die on that hill.
We're gonna run this same exercise with the SEC versus the ACC and the Big Ten versus the ACC, and we'll see what chat tells us.
Well, yeah, but okay, now hold on. I've got to let me explain my position, because do I think the ACC would win many of the games at the top? No. But do I think that once you get past game 6, the ACC might freaking sweep it?
We'll know the answer. We'll know the answer to this. But you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You are wrong. Anyways, so
you haven't had to play in the gauntlet of the ACC in college football 27 yet.
What we did is we took the SEC and the Big Ten, and we took the preseason number ones, matched them up, preseason number twos, matched them up, all the way down to the 16th team, just to figure out which teams would win those games. Kind of gives you a, which conference is deeper, because whatever. So Georgia versus Oregon. Chat tells us Oregon wins the game 31-27. Texas versus Ohio State, which we will see.
Correct.
By the way. Ohio State 30-28. Ole Miss versus Indiana. Indiana 34-24. So the thing that jumps off the page to me right there is in the first 3 games, when you take the top 3 teams in each conference, the Big Ten wins the first 3 matchups. So USC is projected 4th in the Big Ten. In the SEC, it's Texas A&M. They have Texas A&M winning 31-20. LSU's 5th, Michigan's 5th. They picked Michigan 24-23. So if you cut that at an A tier, like if you cut these in tiers, and you do the top 5, the Big Ten wins 4 of the top 5 matchups. Thoughts? Do you guys think that would happen in real life?
Honestly, yeah.
Like when
I could see a sweep.
I think I know where Colin would deviate.
How are we? What do you mean by that? Because I think Colin would switch some teams around. I think I would switch some teams around.
Okay,
but this is going based off the preseason Cleveland.com poll, and I don't know who does the SEC media poll, but
right. Well, I'm not like flipping matchups. I could there's 2 games that I would switch, and it would still be, the matchup would still be 4-1 Big Ten.
Right. And yeah,
that's because Colin thinks that USC would beat A&M, but he thinks Ole Miss would beat Indiana.
Correct.
It's not hard to figure out. He hates Indiana and he loves Ole Miss. So
no, Trinidad Chambliss would win that game for Ole Miss.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. Like I would love to see that game.
Just like I think Jaden Mayava would win the game for Texas or for USC.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's nothing more than that.
But we're not. Is this? Assuming this is on neutral fields, right?
Yes, it is on neutral fields, and the document tells you that if you would read this.
Where?
The very first line of the damn thing.
Right before the bold.
Assuming these games are played on a neutral field.
But is it in Atlanta or at Lambeau? Because that would make a difference.
Okay,
neutral field isn't always so neutral.
Moving on, and this is
we are an hour and 5 in.
Yeah,
we got a long way to go.
Don't get sunburnt, and you wouldn't be so tired.
And this is where I do agree. Like I agree at this point. You put Alabama versus Penn State, Alabama 27-24.
I think it's worse than that, personally.
Oklahoma versus Washington, 35-24. Tennessee versus Iowa.
Hey, you got to say the winners.
Oh, yeah. No, I am.
You said Alabama, Penn State, 27-24. Oklahoma versus Washington, 35-24.
Well, I guess I said Oklahoma first. So I assumed. Okay, Tennessee over Iowa, 34-17. Illinois over Florida, 27-24. Missouri over Minnesota, 30-17. That's our next group of 5.
I don't agree with that. The last two I would switch.
You would switch Florida over Illinois?
I would switch Florida over Illinois, and I'd switch Minnesota over Missouri.
Dude, I think Illinois is going to be really freaking good this year.
I think Florida's going to be good.
Well, I honestly, like, this is the point. Like, after Washington, Oklahoma is where I would start flipping teams' orders.
Right.
Like, because I think Iowa's too high.
Correct. We talked about that the other day. I 1,000% agree with you.
I think Iowa's too high. I think Minnesota might be too high.
I agree there too.
Minnesota's good.
I actually think about
Minnesota lost so much.
Doesn't matter. Cody, you know what you know. Like I told you guys this last year. Remember, I'm always like Minnesota for some reason. Even on the podcast last year, I was like, I like Minnesota, and then I forget, and then I get reminded 5 games into the year that they don't throw the ball, and then I get upset with myself for thinking Minnesota is going to be good. And the same thing is true this year.
And now they have like one of the top quarterbacks coming out.
Drake Lindsay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is. Sorry. I mean, but of those games, like, there's not like, yeah, you could argue Florida, Illinois, but we don't really know what Florida or Illinois is going to be at this point. Like, we really don't know what Missouri or Minnesota is going to be at this point. Like, right. How good is Austin Simmons going to be for Missouri? If Austin Simmons is good, Missouri could be really good.
Yeah, they're going to have a good run game.
Oh, that's assuming Ahmad Hardy doesn't get shot again, but
right.
So Oklahoma in the middle tier, or the SEC in the middle tier, takes 4 of 5. So through 10 games, the SEC and Big Ten are 5-5.
Correct.
This is where things get a little wild, though.
Yeah.
So South Carolina versus Nebraska. South Carolina 27-21. Don't disagree with that. Auburn versus UCLA 28-24. UCLA, I personally have a hard time seeing UCLA win that game.
I agree.
Vanderbilt versus Wisconsin 23-16. I'm not sure if those two teams played each other that I'd watch the damn thing.
I'm not sure if those two teams played that they would put together 39 points combined like that.
Right, like that game would give me zero interest. So Kentucky, Maryland is the next game. Maryland 27-20.
And I think we all agreed we would watch because of Malik Washington.
I think that game would be. I actually think that would
Minnie
be one-
Minchie.
that in a Will Stein offense. Like I think that game maybe would be very fascinating.
Yeah.
Again, another game that I would have zero interest in watching. Mississippi State versus Michigan State.
Oh my God. Rather watch paint dry.
No, thank you.
I'd watch that game.
Michigan State projected to win 24-21. Arkansas versus Northwestern. Arkansas.
I'm all over this
31-17.
game.
I think that result would be completely flipped.
Right.
So, I mean, I think we can agree that Chat is pretty close on what we think the results would be outside of a couple. Ultimately, the final count of the 16 games that will be played, the Chat has the SEC winning 9 games, the Big Ten winning 7 games. Now, if you look at that from a holistic standpoint, that would automatically have the SEC people pounding their chest. Pounding their chest. We are a better football conference. We're a better football conference. We beat the Big Ten 9-7 in head-to-head games. Well, guess what? The games that mattered, the top 5, we kicked your ass.
Right.
That's been the SEC's narrative, though, this whole time since the flipping of the script.
Right.
Well, we're deeper.
Congratulations.
We're deeper.
Congratulations that your 16 was better than our 16.
And they only say that because teams like Texas had to freaking fight tooth and nail. It helps the Texas narrative at 9-3. Well,
Right.
we're deeper, and Mississippi State and Kentucky are actually good teams, and so that's why we struggled with them and why we lost to Florida.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I've
Like,
given you guys
that's-
my whole narrative on if the SEC is so good, why did Missouri go to 2 straight SEC championships when they entered? And why is Texas and Oklahoma, who's supposed to be coming from this awful Big 12, come in and both been in the playoffs
Right.
since joining the SEC? But the SEC's this gauntlet. How dare these teams from other conferences come in and have success?
Right.
Man, maybe
So-
Nebraska should have went to the SEC.
So moving on, the best games that they have picked were obviously Texas, Ohio State, which
Yeah.
we do see. We do see
We
them
will
play
see.
each other.
Yeah.
Georgia versus Oregon, which I think would be a fascinating football game.
The Dan Lanning Bowl.
Alabama versus Penn State, fascinating football game.
That would be a fun football game.
LSU versus Michigan, fascinating football game.
Yep.
Here's what I thought was interesting. The 5th best game, South Carolina versus Nebraska.
Chat GPT's on crack.
Only because of Lenora Sellers.
Not because of Anthony Calandria.
Not yet. You already know my stance on him from yesterday.
Right.
But I'm not going to say it publicly yet.
So then it goes in and it breaks down. If I were ranking the top 16 teams, strongest weakest entering the 2026 season, I would rank them, and then it gives me a top 16. And I was fascinated by this list. Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Texas 3, Georgia 4, Indiana 5. Again, the Big Ten in the top 5, 3-2. Then it goes Alabama, A&M, Ole Miss, LSU, Oklahoma. So there's not a Big Ten team in that middle tier.
Right.
Then in the 11 through 16, it's Michigan, Tennessee, South Carolina, Missouri, Illinois, Nebraska.
3-3.
But what I already told you guys, I kind of busted the
No USC.
surprise. Yeah, there's no USC here in the top 16, which I thought was very fascinating because
Right.
I think USC could be a major sleeper team.
Right.
Because you're talking about Jordan Mayava, year 3/2.5
Right.
under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Now,
And Lincoln Riley
um,
saying at media days, this is the best offensive line he's ever had, whether
right
Oklahoma or USC.
here's the thing that intrigues me about USC though. They lost all of their receivers,
Yeah.
and somehow, some way, they got production out of a walk-on 17th string running back last year.
King.
I'm still not sold on their running back game.
I am.
But I think USC is a surefire top 5 Big Ten team. I was
Yeah.
absolutely fascinated that they were not on this list.
Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree. Then you got no Washington.
Yeah,
No, I'm just trying to think of off the cuff, like Illinois is right ahead of Nebraska. But like if you go to the media rankings, there's no Iowa in here, and the media rankings had what, Iowa 7th?
right.
Yeah, so it's fascinating.
So it's just one of those questions. Like there was no bias by us put into
Right.
this. We literally matched up the top 16 teams in each conference head to head. Put into chat who would win
Yeah.
these games if they played on a neutral site. Give me a score prediction in your analysis, and it spit it out. It was like I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm going to talk about this on the show because it's
Yeah. There's one thing I want to go back to, and I want your guys' opinion. For the best games, you don't even got to take one of because I think all 5 of those games would be fascinating. But how fun would a USC Texas A&M game be?
oh yeah,
What would the
absolutely.
over under be set at?
Like no, a million because
Right?
USC can't play defense,
Mm,
and Texas
yeah.
A&M would score like crazy. But I
Yeah.
think USC would score like crazy.
Right.
Here's what I would actually, and here's when Josh Pate becomes the commissioner of college football. Here's what I would love to see happen. Like because eventually I would say within the next 10 years, what's going to happen, maybe even faster than that, maybe 5 years. I think you're going to see the Power Four schools split off and do their own like NFL minor league football system.
Yeah.
I would love, absolutely love to see an SEC like if the like and this kind of goes back to what Matt Rule said when he was talking about because somebody asked him, I don't remember how the question was exactly phrased, but somebody asked him about expanded playoffs, and he's like, "I'm all for a expanded playoff if everybody is playing on the same playing field."
Right.
Like if everybody in the 2014 playoff is playing teams from the same pool of teams. So
Right.
essentially, what he's saying is like the NFL. There's no NFL teams going down and playing cupcake teams. Like they don't get to pick their 3 non-conference games.
And
Right.
one of them being in November, SEC.
Right. He's like, so if everybody's on the same playing field, where okay, you all got to play Power Four schools. So like, you get your 9 conference games that you have to play, and then you play one SEC, one ACC, one Big 12. Like you play one team from each conference.
Right.
And I would be a fan of if okay, everybody's got 18 teams in their conference.
Yeah.
Just say everybody's got 18 teams in their conference. I would be a fan of if you finished first in your conference, you play the first. If you finish second, you play second. If you finish third,
Right.
you play
the following year.
Right. Yes. Like if you were the conference champion last year, you play the conference champion in the Big Ten, you play the conference champion in the SEC. Now that's
it's like the NFL schedule.
Right. Right. That's gonna create a parity. You're gonna go, well, look at Georgia's schedule. They got to play the SEC plus Oregon, Texas Tech, and Miami. Like how fascinating would that make college football?
Be fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like Kale is out on this idea.
No, I love the fact, like, because I said that on the last episode that I would love for it to be like you have 3 non-conference games and it be one from each Power 4 conference. Like that would be awesome. Having it be 1/1/1, like that bothers me to the point where it's like only because of TV time.
Okay, so
because like then you get into the position where it's like, okay, I mean, does it become an unfair advantage because the top teams are playing in the top games every year? Like, does it get to a point where it's not creating parity and it's like
no, because I think if Georgia, like, I don't know.
I just wish it was a rotational thing. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily mean that you're playing the top team because those games should be happening in the postseason anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, just have it, to me, just simplify it and make it be that you rotate one. I mean, I'm not trying to intentionally poop on your freaking idea because I like it, but it's just like,
well, you could
if I had to dissect it, I would be like, just play it one game from each conference, and whoever is your draw that year is who you got. If you're freaking Texas and you drew Purdue and freaking Boston College and Oklahoma State in the same year, and that's a hit against you, then so be it. That's the luck of the draw,
right?
You know, like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's better than them playing freaking Lamar, you know. Or
I would love Colin's idea, but I think they would figure out how to manipulate the system.
How would you manipulate the system?
So are you going based off regular season final record? Since it would be their conference champs essentially from the 4?
Yes.
So would you want to
essentially you're going to get rid of the conference championship?
Yeah, championship is gone. Yeah.
Aren't going to happen.
Right.
Is there enough games? Is it enough games in conference being 9? Because you can't judge it based off of the non-con, can you?
Right.
Do you base it off 12 games or base it off of the conference games? Because then is there enough games to make it be where, like, what do you do with the teams that are all 5-4? How do you distinguish? Then you go overall record, and then what do you do if they're both 9-3?
Did they play head to head?
Well, I mean, in a conference of 18, there's a pretty good chance they didn't. If you're only playing half the conference games because you're playing 9.
All these conferences have tiebreakers to select their conference.
I understand that. I guess my question is like, well, what's the tiebreaker? I'm not poo-pooing on it. I'm just saying, well, what would what would you select it to be as terms of like the tiebreaker? If it went past if they didn't match up together, they're both 9-3, and they both finished 6-3 in conference.
Head to head, common opponent. Record, head to head, common opponent, and then like it's an algorithm, right? Like,
why common opponent? I thought transitive property doesn't freaking matter. This is exactly what you guys argued against me last year.
Yes. No, you go
Now
head
you're
to head.
arguing
Dude,
for it.
I've been through a freaking wrestling seating meeting. This isn't freaking rocket science to me. Head to head record, head to head common opponent, and then like you just keep going down from there. And if you have to get into
Coin flip.
if you have to get into like after head to head common opponent, the next tiebreaker would probably be it's going to be a baseball term for you guys, but run differential, which essentially would be point differential.
Yeah.
Like if you score 100 points and you gave up 50, you're plus 50. If you're plus 50 and the other team's plus 49, you go ahead of them in the conference standings.
Right.
They did that in the NFL for playoff.
Right.
Yeah.
Thing. It was at the same time when the Packers were playing and Panthers were playing.
Yeah.
All
right, boys. Let's do closing statements. Is there anything you want to do? Because we're at an hour and a half.
Yep.
So my question / statement to you guys: will the Save College Sports Act be finalized this week?
No.
SEC and Big Ten have both came out agreeing to said changes they made over the weekend. But will it get passed through the Senate this week?
Okay, so this is not really a closing statement. You got to explain this to me because I was texted this weekend about that, and this person thought that they were like, it's just another way for the SEC to eventually manipulate the system so that way they can pay players extra while everyone else is following the rules. And I was like,
no.
I'm not sure that's actually like how that works, but I don't know any details of what this is anyway. So I said I didn't have any opinion because I didn't know. I don't know. So again, I have not read up on any of this.
So
it's the first time I've heard of it.
Let's just table that discussion. Like what this is. Let's just table that.
That'd be nice to have on the outline, so I could have looked up what was going on.
Right. I agree with that. Like I don't know enough about the College Sports Act, like know like what it's about and all this. Like I have a gist of what I think it is, but I don't think so. I don't have enough to like tell you, Kale, like I'm not gonna put it out there publicly because I'm like this is what I think it is.
The only thing that I know is something that Ross Dellinger tweeted, and it was something about basically what I would call is raising the cap on what you can pay.
What I understand of it is that it's basically a CBA.
Yeah.
It's basically a collective bargaining agreement. But instead of the players union representing against the owners, which are the presidents of the universities, it's the Senate representing the players. And
what I don't care if we're past time or not because I want to know. So my question is this a rebuttal? Is this the Big Ten and the SEC's rebuttal to Texas Tech?
No.
Then what's the purpose of this? Like, why is it so alarming that the Big Ten and the SEC are trying to save college sports? What does that even mean?
But I here's what I think. I guess I'm going to say this. I guess I'm going to say what I think it is because I don't know. I haven't read enough about it.
Like, what's saving college sports with this?
What I think they're trying to do is put a cap, essentially, on the money that is spent, so that like Nebraska can't go out and say, "I'll give this quarterback $3 million,"
right?
And then Alabama comes and says, "I'll give you 10." Basically, they're going to be like, "Hey, you can be paid this much. You cannot be paid over this dollar amount." Whether that dollar amount is $5,000.
So the cap has to do with the player, not with the actual amount of money you're spending.
Correct. Basically, they're capping what a player can make.
Yeah, so it's not a franchise cap; it's a player cap.
Correct.
Yeah,
and then there's a cap on how it It's at 19 teams for the conferences for expansion. No more than 19 teams.
Right.
What?
Then there's
No more than 19?
per
Yeah. Well,
conference.
if you
It's
do,
to avoid a super conference.
Why
Correct.
would you not just make that 20?
I don't know. It's what
That
they
is
did.
dumb as F, dude. That's bad. Like, you can't leave it at a. You can't. Why 19? Why would you? That's an arbitrary odd. I hate odd numbers. It's arbitrary.
hey,
You can't
you
go
know,
past 19 anyway because none of the scheduling's correct. Because if you're playing 9 games, that doesn't like.
okay. Well, you're getting way bent out of shape over
Yeah.
nothing essentially here, because quick math tells me, Kale, that there's no conference right now that has
19.
19, and there's only one team in a Power 4 school that's not in a freaking conference.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
Yes, correct. So 19 is not that big of a deal. Like, basically, essentially, what they're doing is exactly what I'm telling you needs to happen. The Power 4 is going to go, see ya, to the group of 5. We're going to go do our own thing over here, and we're going to have millions of dollars. You guys play with hundreds of dollars.
Right. There's a bunch of language in the bill too that so much money goes towards HBCUs. You
Right.
can't have it if this goes through. NCAA is not liable for any Title IX
Right.
sanctions, or like there's a whole bunch of small stuff in there like that. The one thing I have not seen um, is the media rights, because I know when the early bill, and this might have been written out of the bill, was to put everything in the NFL model where all the money goes to one and then it's dispersed evenly among all the power conferences or whatever, who's all in college football playoff. I can't remember how it was worded, but
Well, the
it's the
baseball needs to
NFL
do the
model.
same thing.
Yeah. But
So, yeah, so essentially, it'd be the end of the Big Ten network. It'd be the end of the ACC network.
right.
Like, I mean, it probably wouldn't be, because
They would still
those,
be
I mean,
around, but they're splitting
they
the money.
they would, like, the ACC, the SEC, the Big Ten network would essentially just get absorbed and become a Fox channel,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Right.
The ACC and the SEC would just get absorbed and become
ESPN.
ESPN U2,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yep.
or ESPN College Sports. It wouldn't, like, it. Honestly, the College Sports Act is good. Here's what I don't foresee happening, and why I say it's not going to get approved, is because the Senate will fuck around.
Yeah.
Like, the Senate and the House are fucking retarded. They'll get in a pissing match of Republicans versus Democrats, which really has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
And if the Republicans vote yes, the Democrats are going to vote no, and that's why it's not going to pass.
And at the end of the week is the month long. Everyone leaves.
Correct.
So, because that's
Month long recess.
right. And it's an election year.
Right, and then you get into the election stuff.
So yeah, we'll have a lot more on that on Wednesday. We'll look more into the language of it, but I just saw that Big Ten and SEC agreed
Well,
to the
now we have
terms.
homework because you just promised our viewers that we're going to dive into it.
Well,
So.
it'll probably be more likely Thursday because I'm going to be busy Wednesday,
Well,
or
whatever.
about to be really late Wednesday. But yes,
school myself up on this because we're going to have to talk about it again.
So that'll do it. If Kale wants to hit the music.
Oh. Well, might not have music this time. It's too slow.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later on this week.